Hey y'all, I'm back, and let me tell you, Vlogmas didn't work out. I tried, but midterms happened, and then it just went all downhill from there, and I was like, oh well. But yeah, and then like we went to my hometown. It really wasn't much going on. We were moving around all day, every day. And I just didn't want to vlog. There was nothing really to vlog. It was just like, go here, sit there, go here, sit there. Like, it was just like, ugh. There was no point in vlogging, basically. It would have just been me talking to y'all in the camera. Y'all be like, girl, what was the point of that? And then Christmas Day wasn't really all that Christmassy. So I was just like, whatever. Like, I literally got like 3 presents. And then just money. That's why Vlogmas didn't work out. I'll try again next year. So then, you know, this is a little quick update. And I get back or whatever, and I had an appointment to get my hair done, as you can see. So I get my hair done and everything, and the lady, like, where she lived, it was like apartments. So, bruh, my dumb self decided I just seen the first parking spot because I was already late, because when I booked the appointment, I was still in Alabama, and it was like hour ahead, I think. So I booked it for 1 o'clock, but then when I came back, it was 12 o'clock, and I didn't realize that. So I thought I was on time, and then she texted me and was like, appointment at 12 p.m. And I was like, 12? So that was the first downhill situation that happened in 2 days. And so then, you know, I get to her house and I just parked real quick because I was like, I'm in a rush. I felt bad that I was late because I thought I was going to be on time. So I rushed, and in the apartments they had like this hooded area, and I guess it was like people paid to park there and all that stuff. So it was like reserved for them specifically. But I didn't know that because I don't really have people or know people that live in apartments. So I've never dealt with that, but I should have just had common sense and think that, but I didn't. And so, you know, I'm getting my hair done. It took her probably like 3 hours. I was there at 1. She finished at 4. So, you know, I go out. I'm like, oh, looking cute. And then I can't find my car. And I was like, where's my car? I literally walked around this whole apartment, and it was freezing outside. I had to stop, put all my stuff down, put on my jacket, and I was still freezing. So then I ended up basically realizing my car got towed, because where I remember parking, there was a car there, and then I looked at the sign. It was like way down on that little tent thingy, and it said, you know, like, your car will be towed and blah blah blah. So I was like, dang, man. So the apartment complex place, like, they weren't open, so we couldn't find out like where my car got towed at. So then I had to wait for my mom, and then the lady, she was super sweet, but she had somewhere to be at like 5. And so I was just sitting in her house, and she was like, oh yeah, we have to leave at like 5 to go somewhere. And I was like, oh, okay. So I just sit outside, because that was the only thing I could think to do. And my mom, of course, was a little bit upset about that. She was like, girl, like, why would you, you know, she was mad because she was like, you should have told her where to park and all that. And I was like, yeah, but it's whatever. Kind of my fault too. But yeah, and so then they got ready to leave, and she basically ended up just dropping me off at Panda Express. And I tried to tell you guys the story then, but it was so loud in there. Like, I don't know, everybody and their grandma was at Panda Express, and I was like, this is weird. Why are y'all all here? I've never seen that before. We had to wait till the next day to call and figure out where my car was. So the next day comes, and that was Monday, yesterday. And we found out where my car was, and it was like, oh, it was like 9 in the morning. She like, literally, I had just woke up, y'all, and she like came in, and she was like, let's go get your car. And I was like, okay. So we go, and we go all the way to El Paso, and man, because it was like before 11 it was gonna be like 140 something. I think it was like 143 to get my car back. So I'm like, all right, bet. And then after 11 it would be 163, and we weren't gonna make it there in time because it takes like an hour and a half to get there, and it was like, I think it was like 9:30, almost 10 when we left. So yeah. And so then what happened? So we get all the way to El Paso, hour and a half away, and we're like, I think like 5 minutes away from the towing place. And mom looks and she's like, please tell me you have your keys. And I said, oh man, I don't. So I didn't have my keys. I left them at the house, y'all. So first she tried to call and see if we could just get a key remade, but it was gonna be like $100 something. And after Christmas, I had no money, y'all. So I couldn't do that. So we just went back to the house and then drove back. I had my keys this time. Drove back and drove back to El Paso, got the car, 160 something, and then yeah, that was the longest day of my life. Like, I didn't get home until like 5, and we left at 9. I was so mad at myself because I was like, dang, how did I forget my whole keys? Oh, and your girl got her first speeding ticket. I've never gotten a speeding ticket. Cause it was like it was on the way the first time to El Paso, and man, let me tell you, it was like this little small like city or whatever, so the speed limit drops from like 70 to like 55 and then 45 and then 35. So it was still 35, but I just like, I don't know, I don't really know what like possessed me to just speed up to the 55 next, because I was after the 35, but I just went ahead, and then the cop got me just like that. But he was, dude, I was scared. Like, my hands were legit shaking, and I think it's just that idea of like cops, you know. But anyways, and I was like, I'm already in, like, you know, like, my mom was already so mad at me about pretty much everything I was doing that day. Like, I was just messing up left and right, left and right, left and right. It was terrible, y'all. But anyways, so then after that, what happened? Oh yeah, it was like $82 speeding ticket. He gave it to me, and I was like, all right, whatever. And then that whole shebang happened, and I was like, man, that's crazy. I just want to update you guys on my terrible life. Like, that all happened in a matter of 2 days, y'all. 2 days. Everything just went downhill. Like, that whole week when we were gone, I was just living my best life. I was happy, chilling every day. And then I get back, and everything bad just goes down. And I was just trying so hard to like keep it as positive as I could, like, because it was just a lot. Like, I was tired. I drove there and back, the whole thing. Like, man, I was just like, how did this happen? And honestly, I think that proves that New Mexico is a very toxic place, because I was living my best life when I was in Alabama, and then I came here and everything just went, and I was like, what? I don't, like, you know, I didn't even get to enjoy like feeling cute. I was like, ooh, I'm cute, and then everything went down here, and I was like, life is rough. Nah, but I tried to keep it as positive as I could, but it was just like, I don't even know. It was terrible. I was like, what is happening? Like, how did I mess up this bad? Because, you know, it was like, okay, car got towed for the first time, you know, like a lot of firsts in 2 days. Like, I was just like, what is going on? Like, first speeding ticket, terrible, and then first time getting my car towed, and then I forget the freaking keys. Like, that is not a easy drive. Not like 30 minutes. Well, an hour and 30 isn't that bad of a ride either. It's just when you're going back and forth, time adds up. That was 6 hours on the road that day, and I was just like, I was so disappointed in myself, because this video was actually supposed to be filmed yesterday, but I didn't have the energy yesterday. I was like, what's the point, bro? I'll come back tomorrow or whatever.